welcome back, everyone, from our... Technically, it's kind of like a 3-week break. I know I had to take a break because we had a birthday party for my son. He turned 11, and we had a delayed birthday party for him, so we held it here at the shop. It was kind of fun. It was a Roblox party. So we set up the big 90-inch screen TV and put them all in the arcade room in the shop and said, just play games all day. And that's what they did. Had a handful, like 5 or 6 of his friends over, and they just played Switch and PS4 and just played video games all day. He was like a pig in shit. He loved it. I'm like, God, that was the easiest birthday party ever.
Yeah. I remember a buddy of mine did that way back when, but we were playing Gauntlet Dark Legacy. So that was a great day.
Well, welcome to session 23, everybody. If you can imagine that, we're on session 23 of the Undermountain adventures that we've been doing. I know Gelmir was out for one of our sessions that we met on, so we'll go back a little ways because we also took a week off last week. So, arriving in Skullport, finally, after all the journeying and discovery and everything that we've done, arriving in Skullport saw an opportunity to get to know the area a little bit more in detail. Unfortunately, Gelmir had interacted with a statue back up in the worm summoning room that seemed to have aged him prematurely and possibly caused other harm at the same time. However, once in Skullport, a tavern was visited and a good old-fashioned tavern brawl broke out that kind of spilled out into the streets. But the team learned a little bit. They learned about the Shadow Temple of the Shar. They learned about a possible fight club and other activities, as well as the difference between the different areas of Skullport. Some are better than others, where the different markets and undergrounds might be. We learned about a location called the Poison Quill that might be a good point of contact to make some discoveries about the area. All this led to the team to finally deliver Gelmir to the Temple of the Shar, where he was graciously taken in by some very helpful priestesses of the Shar and kept for both the purposes of removing the curse and also as kind of part of his recovery. Once he was dropped off, the team ended up going to the Overflowing Urn, met up with the goblin or the hobgoblin innkeeper and goblin caretaker there, got up the following morning and discovered where the entrance to the House of Pain was through a very helpful but gullible Goliath, who seemed to be eager to give up information, although he wasn't entirely sure. They also met up with an individual called Pinzel, who was responsible for keeping the entrance to the House of Pain secret, and people would have to make their way down in and hopefully be able to get on the lists and to get into whatever is available down there. The team also met up with Alma, the daughter of Alaric, purchasing a lute and some other things like an alchemy kit, as well as passage back up to the surface and into Waterdeep once they are ready to go. She had stated that within a day or two, that passage can be obtained. However, after finding the fountain where the entrance to the House of Pain was located and speaking with Pinzel, the team decided to go into the marketplace and delve into this underground place that offers up a great deal of opportunity, trade, and other things as well. Meanwhile, Gelmir recovers over at the House of Shar. Gelmir, go ahead and give me a wisdom save, please.
All right. That's a filthy 20.
Nice. We start off dirty. When you awake, you believe it's the following day, but it's hard to tell inside this temple sanctum. Around you is an empty stone chamber and you're lying on what feels just kind of like a normal bed, a normal kind of feeling that you're in some kind of recovery chamber. Your bones and your joints feel amazing. The old pains and aches that you can remember are gone. Your wit feels sharper. Your sense of smell and taste more refined. You look at your hands and your exposed arms, and you can see the remnants of very thin striated tattoos that were used as part of the ceremony. But it's your skin that strikes you the most bit of fascination. The wrinkles gone, years of age gone. And as you sit up in the bed and look around, you can see all of your equipment and garb and everything neatly folded up. And then you hear a gentle kind of knock at the door and a familiar female voice. Are you awake?
Yeah.
And you hear a door creak open, soft footsteps. The priestess that had welcomed you and the others coming into the room. Her hood still up. Bit of a shadowy kind of relief, or you kind of like shadow within the cowl. And then she pulls it down to kind of reveal her drow visage. How do you feel?
Well, I mean, I feel pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. I'm at least 2 or 3 years younger, which is potentially older than I was 3 days ago. But I hope you guys are going to charge extra for the tattoos, because as I said already, I'm not paying for this in the first place.
She just kind of stares at you. Gelmir, that has all been taken care of. You're much younger than... And you watch as she like reaches, into a bag she's carrying. She pulls out a mirror and she holds it up to you. You're basically a teenager again, from a perspective of a goblin.
Do you guys sell fake IDs?
What do you need fake IDs for? I don't understand.
I like to go to taverns, and I'm afraid they're gonna card me and
Card you? You are a very strange goblin. Anyways, you've been fully recovered. The curse has been removed, and you are free to go. I believe your friends said that they would be in the marketplace today, if you wish to try to find them.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. I'll see you next time I do things I shouldn't do.
Oh, yes. We look forward to seeing you next time, young Gelmir.
Yeah, young. I get it, because I'm younger.
You got to gather up your equipment, put your clothes back on, gather everything up, check your equipment. Everything is still there. And she just kind of escorts you out of the recovery chamber. And then you kind of spill out onto the steps of the temple. And it's actually mid to late morning. It's almost the feeling of an afternoonish environment. And you know this now because there is light that's able to kind of creep through into the space because of the exposed side of the harbor bay that leads out towards the secret cove-like entrance where the different pirates and other smugglers use to take things in or bring things out of the particular area. So there's a sense that you've been recovering for about a day and a half now, is what it feels like to you.
Oh, yeah, I'll try and find the market to see if I can locate everyone.
And with that, you head in the direction that you believe the marketplace to be. Give me a survival check, just as a general kind of number of where you think you are.
18.
Okay. For everybody else, with the securing understanding of where the House of Pain is, where the secret entrance guarded by Pinzel located by the fountain is well known, the four of you begin to enter the market area. Voices hawking their wares, the sights and smells of exotic fragrances, fabrics, equipment, things from all over Greater Tyrell appear to be here. Whether they're here legitimately or illegitimately. I mean, I leave up to you. But the stalls that you walk through within the middle of the market are kind of almost built like lean-tos. Some people seem to have set up temporary like stalls for the purposes of hawking or selling their wares. But there's other kind of like wob and dobble kind of brick structures and stone structures that seem to have just open doorways of people pouring in and out of them. And it's just this busy sense of this very kind of like noisy marketplace that's just burgeoning alive. And just as you're about to like plunge into this wonderful chaos, you see a very familiar, extremely young and chipper looking Gelmir come spilling out of the edges of the crowd as all of you are back together again.
What the hell did they do to you?
I'm looking for my father. His name is Gelmir. I bet you see him. I'm just kidding, guys. It's me. I'm Gelmir.
Wow, you are looking
Great.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
I've had a lot of time to think about walk over here though, and I have one major worry, and so like on my next birthday, when people ask me how old I am, I don't know.
Fair point.
What's your favorite number?
Did you ever know?
3.
You'll
What were
be
you
4
tell-
next then.
Got it. Thanks, Ryan. Good looking out.
Can I just do like a check on those tattoos? Like, are they dark still? Are they kind of there, or anything going on with, like, or they're visible?
Give me investigation.
Are they magical?
17.
17. I mean, they look like they were part of a ceremony, a part of the removal of the curse. It makes sense.
Mm.
Although the one thing that seems odd to you, because you do have kind of a magical background, they seem permanent, not as strongly as they were probably part of the ceremony, but the kind of Cyrillic and magical writings and the way that the hands, arms, and what exposed skin you can see on Gelmir, I mean, it appears to be permanent tattoos.
But like kind of faded, or not like
Slightly
super dark,
faded, but
slightly.
not with the sense that you think that they're going to fade permanently. You feel like that they're permanent.
Are they itchy?
Okay.
Gelmir.
I mean, generally, as a goblin, my skin remains itchy most of the time. So, yes.
well, you should get
Winter.
some. I could really recommend some exfoliation sort of ingredients. A nice regime I could recommend.
Nice regime.
I don't know
I am
if
also
I'm
capable
old
of
enough.
creating
Winter.
anti-tick powder
Good.
and anti-tick and flea powder if you deem that necessary.
Good
No,
idea.
like,
Business
it was
idea,
like-
Wintrude. Goblin moisturizer. Write it in your book.
No, not
Let's
even
take
just.
it. Let's take it to market. Let's
No, this is a general exfoliant. It's not goblin specific.
no, but
Yeah, we could call it Winnie. We could call it Winnie K.
If you market it as goblin, you corner a market of goblins with dry skin and itchy skin.
As a goblin, I'm going to tell you, it's a bad market.
Not exactly looking for winning skin or impressing people with their hygiene.
You're gonna spend all your money on the supply and find out there's no demand.
Now, here's the thing, though. Between you and Alex, are you feeling young and sprightly enough to go into these fighting pits?
You want to fight Alex? He's invincible. That's fucked up.
No, I mean, like, for some reason, Alex has this interest in going into the fighting pits, and you seem to follow him blindly into whatever he's decided. So I was just wondering.
No, I
if
think
you're feeling strong enough and enough vigor to battle by his side.
I think you misunderstand. Alex just goes ahead of me as my envoy. He just knows what I want.
Oh. It's a very complicated relationship. I'm sorry I don't understand all the intricacies.
It's okay. It's over your head. I get it.
It's
Some things aren't meant to be understood, I think.
See, I gotta.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm going into the fighting pit because Alex already knows I want to do that.
The one problem we have with the fighting pits is we need I believe the term was sponsor.
I'll do it.
Can sponsors compete in the fighting pits? We never asked, did we?
I think by sponsor they mean financially. Gambling.
I won't do it. Not interested.
You would be gambling, I think.
No.
No? All
What
right.
if I know I have the performance tonight and it's supposed to be with a bunch of bigwigs, right? Some important folk. What if I can get one of them to be a sponsor?
Perhaps. I was thinking of nominating you, actually, given that you're quote-unquote bodyguards. It might be a good way to gain some fame in the underbelly.
I wanted to check in though, like if we talk about doing anything else, so I'm looking back at my notes, and then Alma said she could arrange passage in 2 days' time. So we were there yesterday, and now.
No, it's still the same day.
Is it still the same day?
So
Yeah.
we've got 2 days.
Yeah, because you guys had dropped off
Right.
Gelmir, checked into the overflowing
Oh,
urn,
okay.
took your rest, and then the following morning he was in recovery, but guys were told that everything was fine, and then you started doing your business within the city.
Oh, and then the second day would be tomorrow. Then
Correct.
Okay, got it. That's what I'm trying
Do we like understand what they mean by sponsor?
You get the feeling that you need to find somebody who's established in Skullport and that already has a relationship with the House of Pain, and then they would be willing to sponsor you in a fight.
The priests love me. Should we just go see if they want to sponsor me?
Oh, that would be an interesting sponsor. Sure, I'm sure. they'd
Fighting
really
for
like
the
that.
House of Shar, the eventual doom of mankind. We present Gelmir.
But
Yeah.
also,
He already has the tattoos. That's like advertising on his body.
Also, because I don't think we mentioned it, Gelmir. So we paid for passage back to Waterdeep
Ghelfi? Yeah.
Oh, you guys paid. Okay, that's fine.
for the group, but y'all got to pay coming back.
Who does?
You owe 85 gold. Alex owes 85 gold. Wintrude owes 45 gold.
I don't have. They stole it all. I don't have it.
Can I perception?
You can insight check them if you want.
Yeah.
But, you already know that most of what Gelmir says is bullshit anyways.
It's a 7 on deception.
All right.
Yeah, give me insight.
9.
Right?
Just beat him.
It beats him, but this is probably his normal bullshit behavior.
Speaking
If anything,
of
he probably robbed the temple blind.
Sure.
Gelmir, do you want to go back topside?
I don't know. I don't think I've been there in,
Ever?
well, chronologically, 10 years from now. I don't know how it works. Anymore.
Do you feel like we're going to have to do some sort of complicated math with every decision now because you had the curse removed, or do you think maybe
You
we
are
would if we cared.
you are no longer the Gelmir of old, so those previous experiences do not matter. It's just all a dream to you.
you're the
You are
Gelmir
a
of
new,
young?
you are a new
Gelmir of
consciousness.
young.
Wait until my wife sees me. She's gonna be so confused.
Gelmir has a wife.
What?
What?
Yeah, that's your stream of consciousness. Like, it does not exist like that. you are a completely new person. That's like a dream to you. That never existed.
Okay, well then call me Gelmir, but I'm gonna spell it with 2 R's.
All right,
Do we roll those?
I'm new now. I'm a new Gelmir.
Grelmir.
Hey, Gelmir, with everything, all of that aside, because it's really not pertinent to the topic we were discussing. I paid Tyr when we arranged passage. You and Alex do owe him though. You need to, if you're coming back up top.
Why would I owe him if you paid him?
Well, you are paying the way back if you want to come back. Here.
We spotted you.
Wait, do we have to
He
leave?
spotted you. You don't have to, but I really got to check back in with Candlekeep and take some care of some other business.
I spotted you. I came over to you guys. I spotted you.
Right.
Yeah. I think my first focus is the fight because I might not even live. So.
All right. Well, we'll take it day by day. All right, so
You guys are so fatalist. It just cracks me up.
I love how,
But
like,
you're not emotionally fatalist. You're just like, I'm probably gonna die. It's okay.
in any other party, it's just a simple matter of Tyr spotted the gold for the few players who were present. All you got to do is pay him, and it's like this whole massive undertaking of logic.
Oh, so you already paid up front.
Paid to go there, but not for the return trip. So you guys just pay for the return trip.
What if the guy stiffs you?
This is a pretty reputable.
We kill him.
I like it.
It's a reputable.
Maybe we'll see him in the fighting bit.
It's
Skullport.
It's going to be reputable. It's going to work out.
All right. Well, you can have 85 gold. I'll give it to you right now. But if he stiffs you,
I just pay the return trip, so you guys can manage paying for the return trip. You don't have to pay.
Wait, Alex, just give him 85 gold now, and then pay for the return trip.
That's not what he said.
All right, we'll table this. Let's get the fuck out of here. Let's get a move on.
Who's on first?
We got some time. The market. You guys can go.
There's like a little
get in.
thing of blood coming out of Tyr's nose as he takes like at least a point of psychic damage.
You vicious negotiated him. It wasn't even vicious whispers. It was like the logic is so convoluted.
So you guys are in the midst of the marketplace. There is just about anything you could possibly want here. There's hawkers of various lineages and backgrounds. There's equipment, goods, whether you're looking for foodstuffs, exotics. What are you guys looking for?
Gelmir, before we move along, I left something inside your portable hole that I need to check on.
I lost it.
Oh, question.
Sorry.
Tyr's like, whatever.
This is a reaction. What did you lose?
Something that, if left alone for too long, might eat everything else inside of your portable hole.
Super giant in there.
I start like pushing everybody away so that I can just roll it out immediately.
Okay, you roll it out. The crowd is like passing by, looking at what you're doing.
Can we roll to see if someone falls in?
Well, I mean, people are like purposely going around because you guys are kind of like surrounding it. At this point, it's open, and you can see that through the dark magical barrier that everything still seems intact. Rahi, you kind of poke your head in. You can see the egg sack is still there, still not hatched yet.
There's a shop that we should visit immediately to offload. I point towards the egg sack. That before something happens to it.
Get out of there. I don't want to eat my stuff.
This is going to be interesting regardless of what happens. I gingerly pick up the egg sack and start heading off towards, I forget what the shop was called. The shop we visited yesterday.
Poison Quill, right?
Yeah, so there's hang on.
The Poison Quill is the shop of...
Well, no, we didn't go to the Poison Quill because that was shut that was closed by the time we went to the store that was next to it.
Yeah, you went to
the Clockwork Gnome.
The Clockwork
Clockwork-
Gnome.
yeah, the Clockwork Gnome. And I think what Alma had said is that when her father gets back to visit him at the Poison Quill, and he'd be interested in procuring that egg. Because he's more of the alchemist kind of person. She was just in charge of the general goods shop that you guys had procured some items there. The alchemy kit as well as the loot.
I'm not going to lie, I just want to offload it as soon as possible.
I mean, you could give me a perception check and see if there's another shop within the marketplace that might be
Why don't we just break
equally
in?
applicable. Yeah.
We'll break in, you leave it there, and then we take the money we think it's worth. That's how trades work, right?
I have a question about proficiencies. If I were to purchase a firearm, how long would it take for me to gain proficiency with?
I would say as long as you're using it in attempted combat opportunities, as well as prior to a long rest, like studying it and learning its mechanisms and getting familiar with it. I mean, it could be relatively quick. I mean, you're already reasonably proficient in crossbows and things like that. So it's more of a matter of getting used to the difference in the way it kicks as opposed to the way handling like a traditional crossbow might be.
All right.
But it's possible to become proficient in it.
Gunfire
So, Ryan,
does
give me a
make for
perception.
nice staccato beats.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Right. Give me a perception as you immediately realize you're holding this acidic, slimy egg and you're looking around and realizing that the poison quill won't be open until tomorrow.
We still got my plan. I think it's a great plan.
Eat it.
Oh God, no! Why?
Wait, what was your plan again? You actually have a plan?
Yeah. Step 1, we break in. Step 2, we leave the egg. Step 3, we take how much we think it's worth.
No.
0.
What'd you roll, Rahi?
0.
Yeah, most of the shops you're looking at are like, you look over to see Mish's Mirage Emporium, Nima's Nectar Market, Qadar's Quillen Bazaar, Ophelia's Oracle Emporium. These all feel like exotic good places. Whether or not they'd be interested in this, you're not entirely sure. There's plenty of places, but there's nothing that screams to you, I'm willing to buy a dangerous egg sack.
And then with my perception, I can see that every time they make eye contact with Rahi, they like close.
You watch as they just pull the slide down. Sorry, we're closed. Like very Monty Python-esque.
I want to go to the front door of the Poison Quill and just see if I could potentially like unlock it.
It's on the other side of the area. It's not in the main market. It's within its own neighborhood further away.
I'm hurriedly, but also very carefully, going to try and place it back into the portable hole.
Nope.
He's already rolled it up and put it away.
You put it away?
You're standing there with like.
You just said it's gonna eat all my shit.
I thought you had lost it.
No, that was a react. That was an instinct.
A tiefling immediately notices this back and forth, looks at Rahi holding. What are you holding? What is that? I've never seen such a thing before.
A purple worm egg.
Oh, are you certain that that's what it is?
That's what the last thing that tried to eat us looked like.
Oh,
What?
my wife runs an alchemy business. I would gladly buy that off of you.
Would you be willing for me to negotiate with her directly?
No, she's currently not in the market. She, we're not technically open to the public. We just do research and study for certain toxins and ailment cures. We don't really. I usually come to the market looking for strange oddities and eccentric exotics to bring back to her for purposes of study, and so you would have to negotiate with me.
I'm willing to take gold, but I would prefer to trade for alchemical resources or even research if you're willing to.
I do have one of her latest publications that we are currently selling. I can trade you one of her alchemy books for that egg if you'd like. It's basically a study and recipe book of certain rare potions, poultices, and balms and oils.
If you're willing to carry this, I think you have a deal.
Oh, absolutely. You watch as he pulls this large-sized, plain-looking bag off of his belt. He opens it up really wide, and he reaches in, and you hear him mutter the word, book. And you watch as he pulls out a book and hands it to you. It says Volume 2, Oils, Poultices, and Potions by Tyrannith. And he hands you the book, and then he takes the egg from you and lets it kind of slide out of his hands into the bag, and he closes up the bag, puts it on his belt. Well, a pleasure. And he just kind of disappears back into the crowd. I rolled a natural 20 for a random, so.
As this guy is leaving, I want to try and stick my hand in the bag and say gems.
Okay, give me sleight of hand. I'll say he's distracted by this amazing trade that he just did.
That's a 7.
A 7? You immediately,
You're so awesome.
yeah, like he immediately stops as he feels a tug on his belt, and he looks down and sees you and shakes his head, and just touches his bag and goes trap, and you feel this like metal like slam on your hand as you pull back your hand, and this metal contraption is like around your hand, and the tiefling just starts laughing as he kind of wanders and keeps going. Take 3 points of piercing damage from the trap.
Right, you just traded that egg for a book and this fine trap that we have now.
Wait, would we be able to reset that trap and use it later?
Give me investigation as you like watch Gelmir kind of pull it off of his hand.
25.
Yeah, I mean it's intact. It looks like it was just maybe a trap that was set in the bag, and the moment that, because of the way bag of holding works, as soon as he said the word, it activated as if someone was trying to grab the trap. So yeah, it looks like it's reusable.
All right, Gelmir, come here. I'm gonna remove it from you.
I'd say leave it on.
Gelmir's like chewing at his arm.
All right.
I'd say leave it on for a little bit. I think it's educational for him.
Rahi, might I take a look at that book that you've just procured?
Sure. I hand her over the book.
It says Talia's Poultices, Potions, and Oils, Volume 2, written by Talia Meredith. Give me investigation as you just kind of browse the pages really quick.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if it actually has anything in there of legitimacy. 19.
Yeah. It's got recipes for oil of sharpness. It's got recipes for potions of regeneration. It's got recipes for enhancement of abilities. It's got recipes for preservation. It's got recipes for disease and poison removal. It's a pretty comprehensive volume of at least those 5 basic possibilities.
Well, I'm just going to say, if there's something that you really want to make, we're here at the marketplace. So this seems legitimate. It seems like it's actually researched and well composed. Hand it back.
I'm glad that I wasn't swindled and didn't have a reason to go after that person.
Right. And I didn't want to rudely step in on your negotiation. I was just a bit concerned after.
I imagine that I could have caught up to him if things would have been deceptive.
Yeah, and much smoother than Gelmir.
I'm fairly stocked up on alchemical supplies. I bought a great amount in bulk at the Drow settlement we recently visited.
I'm just wondering, especially anything, not that I ran across it, but anti-necrotic, certainly the regeneration. I mean, it's only going to get more creepy and necromantic, I think, if when we return and keep delving.
The only thing I need is time.
Yeah. Well, I am interested in looking for some rings. If you all don't mind, I was going to take a look around, seeing if there was something magical I could buy for myself. I hope you don't mind if I kind of wander off for a spell.
I think I'm going to head back to our room and try and prepare a couple of things, especially if we're going to the House of Pain later this evening.
Well, I'll definitely check in. I really would like a progress report on something that you managed to concoct. That would be fantastic.
All right.
And then I'd like to try and remove the trap from Gelmir. I don't know if I'll...
It's not all that difficult. Let's see. Give me a sleight of hand just to make sure you can remove it without breaking it.
19.
19? Yeah. You find the pin that's the hair trigger. You pull the pin out and it goes limp, and you're able to open it. He pulls his hand out, and that's when you realize it's kind of like a little mini snare trap where the teeth open up. There's a pin that you put in. The plate, will settle, and if someone puts their hand in there, or just close it.
Is there any way that I could improve it for use in, I don't know.
Possibly.
All right.
Take a little study time, but yeah, it's a nice little contraption.
I'm going to, put it in my bag.
Okay.
All right, so now we're even. That trap for the transportation fee, so we're all set.
No.
So with that, Rahi, you're heading back to the overflowing urn to spend some time making some alchemy. The rest of you in the market, give me perception checks as you begin tier necromantic.
22.
23.
12.
Nice.
13.
So once again, there's a lot of things to offer here. Tier, is there anything in specific you might be looking for?
Well, I've been talking about getting a gun, but I don't know, like some type of. I'm looking for something synergistic. I have a hand crossbow currently, something synergistic with heat metal, which I feel like is like my signature spell.
Looking around for you, there is a nearby stall that seems to be offering up a lot of unique looking weaponry and items that might be specific to ranged weaponry.
Or even I have this like magic sword, I guess, that has a slot for a jewel. If I find someone that could help me with that, maybe that's a more pressing matter.
That might take a little more effort. So give me investigation as you kind of focus in on some of the stalls that look like they might be able to accommodate that.
Investigation 15.
15. There is a kind of elderly looking wizard like gentleman in one particular stall where he seems to be in the process of doing minor enchantments on small stones. He might be someone that could offer up an opportunity with the longsword as well. There's another elven individual who's seems to be trading and bartering with individuals for ranged weaponry, and he's kind of got like this exotic looking kit on display of various hand crossbows, regular crossbows, and kind of like all the different accoutrements that kind of come with ranged weaponry as well. Wintrude, you mentioned jewelry, right? Things that might be rings.
Yeah.
There's a female human who seems to be selling an assortment of bracelets, rings, and finer looking jewelry. Gelmir, anything you're looking for?
I guess like maybe anything like dragon related. Like
Okay.
Because I have like that dragon scale, like maybe like armor or weapons that came from dragons.
There is at least one stall that seems to be selling a lot of exotic skins and exotic kind of fabrics. They also seem to be selling what looks to be elven chain as well as dwarven chain, both in its raw form as well as in like semi-completed pieces of vestments as well. And the tiefling there seems kind of eccentric looking, but possibly someone that might be negotiated with. And Alex, what do you think you're looking for at this point?
I'm looking for basically just more components for my various spells. Like an undead eyeball, crystal ball, wing,
Yeah,
feather.
There's no shortage here for that. I mean, the variety of different component stalls and shops, you get the feeling that due to the location and kind of like the natural market for arcane wizardry, both abroad and within Waterdeep itself, there's a half a dozen stalls that could easily offer up things that you might be looking for your warlock components.
Okay.
So we'll say for you, Alexander, you spend a solid hour kind of perusing these stalls, and you come across at least 100 gold worth of all the componentry that you need.
Okay.
For your spells. So we'll say you have a pretty good supply now at this point.
All right. I will deduct 100 gold worth.
Wintrude, as you step up to the jewelry stall, so what can I get for you? What are you looking for specifically?
I have compiled a small list of interests as far as what rings can do magically.
Magic rings is what you're looking for.
Yes, indeed.
Very rare magic rings.
Yeah.
Difficult to find, difficult to procure, but I have a couple. What is anything specific you're hoping they might accomplish for you?
Well, I was hoping anything that could help, maybe with if necrotic resistance, anything it's for my research. It feels like the deeper I go into the Undermountain, the greater the risks.
I do have something that might help with you slightly. Not quite necrotic resistance, but I do have a ring of protection from undead.
Ooh. Would you have a few more details to share?
Well, if you wear this ring, if you're ever assaulted or attacked by any undead creature that's capable of either poison or necrotic damage to you, you would have advantage on those saves.
That. What sort of price are you proposing?
I can either exchange it for something that you have, or I can offer it to you for 1,200 gold.
Ooh. Let me take a look.
I'm just thinking because I do have 174 platinum, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's out of reach. Kind of is, but yeah, see, the thing with Wintrude is she just doesn't have much need for gold. I get
She's not a creature of commerce.
She doesn't need a lot of creature comforts.
Well, if it's or maybe something. Let me just think. Maybe a bit pricey. Maybe something not so powerfully magical. Maybe a little bit less expensive, such as I've heard tell of like rings of jumping or falling. Rings of jumping would be extremely useful.
I do have a rare ring of featherfall.
What would
not have any rings of jumping, but I do have a rare ring of featherfall.
Yeah.
That'll run you about 2,000 gold.
2,000 gold. Yeah, you could understand, right? The jumping and the falling. Somebody.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're traveling further or expending time in the Underdwell, sure. I guess that would make sense.
Well, let me take a look at my funds and give it some thought. It just seems, maybe it's a little bit out of reach right now. I am a prudent shopper. I do have to admit.
Give me a persuasion check as you're using your naivete at a lower price.
19.
19? Well, I suppose, since you are an eager shopper at the very least, if you're interested in the featherfall, I'll tell you what I can do. I can throw both rings in for 2,500 gold.
25.
So if you buy both, I can discount both for a purchase of both items.
Except she doesn't have 2,500 gold. I'm going through it. She's got about a little over 1,800, so that's about all she's gonna. And she's not much of a
1,800.
hardcore negotiator.
How about this then? If you're more interested in the Featherfall, I can sell that one to you for 1,500 gold. That one piques your interest more than the one for protection against undead.
Oh, that would be safe. I think I can do that as far as.
Here you go, dear. And hands you the Ring of Featherfall. And then takes your 1,500 gold. Alex, I would also say you come across a stall that it sells a lot of fight gear as well. Unarmed fighting, melee style fighting, pit fighting, which would kind of make sense. You see a couple stalls like that. So that might be another possibility if you choose to do additional shopping for equipment as well. Tyr, you come standing in front of that stall and looking at all the gear that this person offers. You do notice that they do have small kegs of gunpowder, fuses. You get the feeling that they might have firearms at this particular stall. What can I help you with, good sir?
Well, I wanted to go to the wizard guy and enchant and
Oh, you want to go to the wizard guy first?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm busy. What the fuck do you want? Don't got all day, pretty boy. I'm just kidding. Creepy old man. I just kind of go with the trope.
Is this the wizard guy?
Yeah.
Goblin?
No, I'm just an old human. Wait, are you saying that everybody high pitched sounds like a goblin? I just smoke and drink a lot. I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah. What's going on? I see you. Looks like you have some talent with magical items. I was wondering.
I do enchant stones. Do you
I was
have
wondering if you might be able to enchant something for me.
I don't see why not. It's what I do.
For a weapon, for a sword.
What do you need it to do?
Well, what can you make it do?
Well, I can make it be quicker. I can make it more damaging. I can make it create a kind of elemental damage. It just kind of depends on what you'd like it to do. I have some stones that are already pre-enchanted for purposes. Like, for example, if you want the item to create a bit of fire damage or radiant damage or cold damage, I can definitely supply stones and install them for that purpose.
Come back to me with the next guy. I'm thinking.
Okay.
I would like to see if there's a bag of holding.
You see a small halfling hawking a whole bunch of backpacks and bags. He kind of sees you watching him. Oh, hello. Looking for a bag of holding, are you? Small, medium, rucksack? What? I even sell bag of holding crates. If you want to purchase larger crates, what are you looking for?
Well, we're traveling a lot, and I just need something that holds a lot of weight. Something that would hold at least like 500 pounds.
That'd be about a medium-sized bag of holding. That'll run you about 800 gold.
Whew. 800 gold. Would you be interested in a dagger of venom?
Give me a persuasion check with advantage because you do have the item for trade. Or are you trying to trade the cursed blade?
Was the dagger of venom with a cursed blade? Was that the?
I don't remember. I don't know who has the cursed blade. Somebody does.
I had a dagger.
Rahi doesn't. Rahi have the? No, not a cursed dagger. That's staff. Possibly.
No, I don't think there was. Maybe it was cursed. No.
Oh no, you guys already got rid of that. Never mind.
19.
19? Sure. Yeah, that sounds like a good trade. And he kind of pulls a bag off the hook, hands it to you, takes the dagger from you and sets it underneath his kind of table shelf. And,
All right. Well, thank you so much, sir.
oh, you're very welcome. Very welcome. Gelmir, you come across that tiefling who is kind of selling a lot of strange exotics. Hello, goblin. Please do not touch my things. What do you want?
Hello, Tiefling. I will certainly touch your things, and I am looking for dragon armor or dragon weapons.
Dragon armor or dragon weapons? Yes, I would bring such expensive and powerful things into such a hive of infamy, villainous people like that. I don't.
Yeah, that's why I came here.
Yeah, but what you see is what I have. I don't understand why you would think I would have such things. I've got elven armor. I've got dwarven armor. I've got other leathers made from exotic beasts or creatures. Unfortunately, I do not stock any kind of dragon armor.
You might not know this because I'm so young, but I am a master of dragons. So anything
A master
less
of
than that
dragons.
is, yeah.
Well, if
I don't
you're
know
a
if
master of dragons, go and kill a dragon and make your own armor.
Well, I did. I just forgot to get the armor. I don't know if you've heard of Bright Eyes. Like me and him were like real tight. Like, you know.
Give me a deception check.
I love the idea, though, at the same time, he's telling two different stories that he could kill dragons, but he's also really tight with one.
Yeah.
It's a 10.
A 10? You are full of shit. Why are you wasting my time?
No, check it out. And then I'll pull out the hole and pull out a dragon skill. See? Like I got one. I did
Where
it.
did you? There's no way you little tiny you killed the dragon. Is this the scale that you got from the dead dragon?
Right. Yeah, it is. Yep.
kinda like-
this dragon is definitely dead.
He kind of takes the shield size, scale and sets it on the table. He pulls out a loop and he puts it into his eye, and he's like murmuring incantations as he looks at you, looks at his shop. I can let you have anything here for exchange for this scale.
I want your entire shop.
Well, I need to remain in business. No. That is not a good negotiation. That is not how this works.
I think we're done here, sir. And I'm gonna
No, hold on.
Go back in and
Uh,
then just start touching all his stuff before I walk away.
please come back. Please. We can negotiate. Come
You're
back.
dead to me. I don't know you.
Is this loud enough for, like, all of us? Are we nearby, close enough? At
I mean, you can
groups to
definitely
this going
hear,
on?
like, you can just see a very kind of resistant Gelmir disappear into the crowd.
Guys, this market sucks.
Are you? I started tracking him or following him or trying to catch up with him just for curiosity's sake.
Yeah, like you get over to where Gelmir is, and he's just ranting on about some tiefling not making the trade.
What did you propose exactly, and what was the counter offer?
It was a deal. Like, I was going to give him my dragon scale for his shop.
Well, I'm sure he probably wasn't going to accept that because you'd effectively be putting him out of business. He probably needs his business still.
But he'd have a dragon scale.
Yeah, but I'm not quite sure if you know quite how the full worth of the dragon scale versus his livelihood.
A bazillion.
Yes. I'm gonna
think-
work through those zeros.
Think about it this way, right?
Yes.
He could do stuff with that dragon scale. What am I going to do with the shop?
He could do stuff versus shop. That's true, though. What could you do with the shop besides
It was a great deal for him.
it? Yeah.
Can't find any fault in this logic.
So Richard just is kind of nodding, and she reaches into her backpack through the A through G tome, and she just goes back to Goblin subsection Gelmir and just starts writing a few notes and kind of.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, take notes. I get it.
No, this is important. I think you've made some really great points here.
No.
Yeah, I mean, people fail to understand your logic sometimes.
No. I think back when I was an older goblin, I wouldn't have got it, But
you feel like with this youth that's returned to you, you feel far sharper now. With like your wits are just honed to a point.
On it. Wait till we get to that battle pit.
The bat, yes. Oh, indeed. Anything else you're looking for? Wait, is it okay? I don't want to step on your toes, Gilbert. Is it okay if I just accompany you while you go through with your dragon scale and about your business? I'm not going to say. I'm going to let you just do your thing.
Yeah, I was just gonna walk around and just see if they popped out.
Can I just accompany you? Is that okay?
Yeah, just don't get in my way.
No, I will not. I will even follow you behind if you think like walking beside you would be too much of a bother.
Yeah, keep a few feet back. I don't want people to know we're together.
Oh, okay.
I actually now I'm thinking about it. There's two things that I wanted to see if I could find. One would be, even though I haven't used any of them yet, more oil of sharpness potions and potions of healing.
Okay.
And then the other is if, even if it's temporarily, because going into this fight, I'm a little bit nervous. If I could find anything that could like add an AC to my like armor, even if it's temporary, like if I could like reinforce it.
Right. I'll say the stalls. There's this kind of very like burly human that's like he looks like he's a retired fighter, right? He's got heavy scars. His knuckles are swollen. He's got cauliflower ears that are just sticking off the side of his head. Kind of sees you kind of perusing all of his like fighting gear and like melee equipment. And he's like, looking to be a fighter, are you? Going into the pits?
Yeah. Still looking for a sponsor though.
Oh, that shouldn't be too hard. Just go find some rich fucker to sponsor you. That's all it takes. Most of the rich folk here already bet down in the pits.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. You know, I'm just a little bit
what?
worried.
There's the Majestic Bones guild that does a lot of kind of like they're shady as fuck, but they sponsor a lot of fighters down in the House of Pain district. You should go seek them out.
You're not pulling my leg, are you? Last time somebody pulled my leg.
Who would do that to you? You look kind of fucking scary.
Yeah, well, I got my money back, but it was one of those, they had the skull.
Oh, skull point watch. They're always fucking with people. You don't want to trust those guys.
Yeah, I thought I could trust them.
The Majestic Bones.
Okay.
Do you happen to have anything, even if it's like temporary, just to like reinforce my armor a little bit?
What do you know about the fights? Have you gotten the details on how they're done?
No.
So, it's unarmed and unarmored when you fight. You basically hand wraps and your skivvies when you fight. No magic is allowed. Once you're in the pit, they have these glyphs that dispel any kind of magical abilities or magical spells. However, it doesn't work on certain items that you can get. So, for example, I've got these hand wraps that you wrap around your knuckles. They give you advantage on your unarmed strikes. I have this belt here that you could wear around your waist to hold up your skivvies. It can give you an armor class bonus of +1 while you're not wearing any armor. Let's see, what else do I have here? Oh, this shit's really cool. And he brings out this like glass bottle filled with like a bizarre kind of oil in it. This is an oil of slipperiness. It basically, if you coat your body in it for up to 10 minutes, it makes it so you can't be grappled.
So there's no way I can just fight with my weapon.
No, it's not that kind of fight pit. See, you're not really supposed to technically die. So they're not exactly going to be thrilled about you with your big old scary weapons and armor. It's for entertainment and gambling. It's not meant to be a fight to the death. Although people die from time to time. But they have Shaw priests there that bring people back in case they get a little bit too far.
It's a little scary then
Oh.
A
if
little
I
bit too
fight with my
far.
hands. I mean,
Well, I mean, you can make a lot of money down there, though, if you're any good.
yeah, I mean, we have a guy Rahi. He would probably clean up.
She.
He's pretty much like the wrestler type,
She
you know.
would.
She would. You know.
Oh, yeah, no offense to the world at large, but female fighters, they make a lot more money down there than a lot more money.
Wait, I know. I want to come back there. I want that belt.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy 2 sets in case Rahi wants it, and I'll kind of decide if I'm gonna want it. The wraps, the belt, 2 oils, the slippery.
Well, so the oil, the belt, and the wraps I sell as kits for fighters.
yeah,
They
yeah.
don't require attunement. The oil only lasts for 10 minutes once it's applied. There's a single application in each oil. The belt has a temporary enchantment on it for an increase of your armor class. And the wraps just give you an advantage whenever you're in a melee fight. But as a kit, it's pretty good. I could sell, if you take 2 kits, I could sell them both to you for 500 gold.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
Which is 5 platinum, just for if you have.
No,
5
it's
platinum
50.
is 50 gold.
50 platinum.
Oh,
50
50
platinum.
platinum.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, you'll have an edge.
What's the resale value? If I end up not using one of these kits, could I resell it to you?
Sure, you can bring it back and I'll buy it off you for 10 gold.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a good deal.
Well, I don't know what you've done with it.
Interesting. All right. Well, okay. Well, I mean,
Give me a persuasion check as you pretend to not be able to afford it.
oh God, 21.
21? All right.
Nice,
look,
nice.
you seem to be a burgeoning, scary-looking fighter. I could sell them both to you for 300 gold. How about that?
All right, I'll do it.
So you have 2 fighter kits. And each kit is an oil of slipperiness that prevents grappling, a belt of defense, which is a 24-hour enchantment that once you put it on, it lasts for 24 hours and it gives you a bonus of +1 to your armor class.
What's it called? What's that?
Belt of defense.
Okay.
And then you have the hand wraps of advantage.
Okay.
And those also have a magical enchantment on them that as soon as you put on the wraps and the belt, in 24 hours, the enchantment fades. And the oil of slipperiness is good for 1 dose.
Okay, so what's the name of them again? I'm gonna type it out. Hand
Okay,
wraps of.
Hand wraps of advantage,
Okay.
belt of defense, and oil of slipperiness.
And the belt of defense does 1 AC,
Gives you a +1 bonus to your AC.
and then the hand wraps of advantage give it advantage on unarmed.
Correct.
Okay.
So, Tyr, you're over there negotiating with the wizard in regards to the stone that you'd like to have installed on your longsword.
Yep, I got it. So previously, my Arcana check for this sword, we had it as enchanted, and it looks to like somehow absorb light.
Okay.
Would it be possible to enchant it to be like a sword of fairy fire?
Oh, I like that idea. Give me 1 moment. And he goes over and he opens a couple of boxes and pulls out a stone. Give me a second. And he walks over to like a mortar and pestle and like a little kit that he has set up, and he spends about 10 minutes doing kind of like a ceremony with the stone, and then you hear him recite the fairy fire spell, and you watch as he pours it into this very small kind of amberish looking stone with kind of like a silver embroiderment around it. And then when he's done, he picks it up and he goes, let me see your sword for a second.
And then can I say, while he's doing that, I'm going to give myself bardic inspiration. I'll hand the sword over.
Okay. You bring the sword over. He looks and he measures the stone, and I can have fairy fire installed on this. So basically, once the stone is installed on the sword, any target that you hit must make a DC 15 save. And I believe fairy fire is wisdom or dex. Anybody remember?
I think it's
Dex.
Is it dex?
Yeah.
DC 15 dex. So whenever you strike an opponent with this blade, They must make a DC 15 dex save or have the equivalent effect of fairy fire on them for up to a minute. And it does not require concentration. It's a duration effect.
Beautiful.
It's really good.
Now let's talk cost.
Perfect.
Now, the stone's already made. I've just infused it. Take me about an hour to infuse it into the pommel of your blade. Let's say 2,600 gold total. That's material, labor, enchantment, components, and installation of your now newfound ability.
How about you cut me a deal?
Well, a deal is a two-way street. Why would I deal?
Because I'm giving you business. Also, I would say I doubt you've made a sort of fairy fire before.
Well, it's slightly unique, but...
Unique idea, but I'm sure it could be very useful. You know, you're the only guy that
but
has
the
it.
components are very rare to be able to... I just so happen to have them. Give me a persuasion check as you kind of do this banter with him.
All right. All right, I'm going to drop my bardic inspiration also.
Okay.
12. Wait,
12?
can I give myself use one of my other inspirations that I got?
Sure.
Is it the D6?
Yeah.
Come on. 14.
14. All right, look. The rarity of the items is a little expensive, but I'll give you a deal on labor. How about 2,000 gold for the entire installation of the gem?
What kind of gem is it?
It's an amber sapphire blended gem. The amber for the base projection of the spell, and the sapphire to consume the spell effect.
How about I give you 25 platinum and an emerald?
Oh, now we're talking. That's unfortunately only 250 gold and an emerald. Perhaps you can come up to 50 platinum and an emerald.
Well, I mean, I assume, emerald is,
Well, it
rare.
depends on its quality. Can I see the emerald that you're willing to trade?
Sure, I'll hand over the emerald.
Pulls out his loop and he's like looking at it with like a lantern light. 50 platinum and the emerald, and you have a deal, sir.
All right, fine.
Okay, so mark that out of your inventory as you linger for an hour, and we'll say at the end of that hour, the stone has been infused into the pommel of your longsword, and you now have a DC 15 Dex checked fairy fire effect on your blade. Lasts up to a minute on any target that you successfully hit, and they fail that DC check.
Sweet.
Yeah, I just want to see if I can grab more potions of oil of slipperiness, oil of sharpness, and potion of healing.
Okay, so you're perusing the market for those. Wintrude, you and Gelmir have this weird kind of Middle Eastern relationship going on with Tyr wrapping up. So Rahi, you make it back to the overflowing urn. You're by yourself in the room at this point. What would you like to attempt to do while everyone else is out in the markets shopping?
I spread out the what's it called? Rockhand's Advanced Alchemy Kit, taking in all the new options before me.
Which particular option would you like to focus on?
Taking a look at Talia's book, I start to put together a potion of sharpness.
Okay.
As well as starting on several potions of healing.
You're gradually becoming a little bit proficient in potions of healing. So each take time. The brew kit that you bought will shorten that time to a certain degree, but it's still a matter of skill to accomplish the two things. Given the amount of time you have left in the day, you could maybe do up to 2 potions today.
Assuming they don't fail dramatically. If one of them were to fail dramatically, it's going to cause some problems, and maybe you wouldn't be able to accomplish any more. But what would the 2 potions you'd like to focus on?
I'd say the potion of sharpness, and if I'm only going to be able to do another one, I'd like to perform an experiment. In the past, it was said that my irregular blood could be used as a component for healing potions.
Okay.
So I'd like to experiment with that a bit.
Okay. So for the oil of sharpness, go ahead and give me a wisdom check as you begin to assemble the components and read. You'll have advantage because of all of your equipment and your instructions that you have.
I do enjoy the fact that I made a alchemist with wisdom as a dump stat. So that would be 11.
Okay. Now give me an intelligence check, just a normal intelligence check.
All right. 10.
Okay. And now give me sleight of hand.
10 again. Yeah.
I mean, these are average numbers. They're not spectacular, but they're average numbers. You spend a solid hour assembling the components, reading the instructions, and then putting them all together in the brew pot to kind of like flame into like this kind of thick, viscous amalgamation of an oil of sharpness. And at the end of that hour, you do a pretty decent, okay job of producing one application of oil of sharpness that'll last up to an hour once it's applied.
All right.
Took you a solid hour, but I would also offer this as well. You're getting very close to a number of proficiency for common items. I would say that maybe only 1 or 2 more attempts, and you'll finally be able to add your proficiency bonus to all your checks as you're becoming proficient with the idea of alchemy.
I actually do have proficiency with alchemy supplies.
With supplies, this would also... So because you have supplies, right, that allows you to use your proficiency bonus for only one of those checks. So we should have used that for one of those 3 checks that you made. Once you become proficient in alchemy, your proficiency bonus can be applied to all checks that you use within the alchemy process.
Gotcha.
So in the
All
future, because of your supplies, alchemy is a 3-roll check. It's wisdom for assembling the component, wisdom to gather up and read the instructions, intelligence for assembly, and then sleight of hand for the purposes of brewing and making the outcome. Any one of those can have at least 1 proficiency bonus added to it because of your supplies, your kit, and all of your instruction material. You're only maybe a couple efforts away from being able to use your proficiency against all checks as you continue to kind of like practice and get better and practice and get better.
Gotcha.
Make more sense?
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
Cool. So that's what you're working on in the up in the overflowing urn. Gelmir and Wintrude, the 2 of you are wandering about. Gelmir, do you still have did you put the scale back in the hole?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just double checking just in case.
Yeah, no, I'm looking for anything draconic.
Anything draconic. Give me investigation for this since it's very specific and it's very rare.
23.
23. Eventually, you and Wintrude reach a section of the market that seems to be a little bit more absent of people. There is a small stone shop that has a lot of like lizard-like creatures hanging out in front of it. Reptilian skin that's kind of rolled up in bundles and stacked. And there's this kind of very like this kind of like dwarf that's comes out carrying a big heap of what looks to be black dragon scales that are bound, and he sets them in a crate and then kind of goes back inside. And you realize that there's a small sign above his shop that's called Skins, Tins, and Dragons above his shop.
This is the spot right here. Winter, don't ruin this for me.
I'm back here.
I'll head in.
As you head into the shop, it has that tannery smell, that cured kind of fragrance of skins that have been cured and kind of like just stacked up, and it's just filled with exotic skins everywhere. That when you look around, there's small ceramics filled with small scales. You can see on the wall green, red, black scales that are up on the wall in various degrees of condition. And you hear from the back of the shop, "Hey, what can I do for you? Oh, fuck. Keep your sticky fingers off my shit, you fucking gobble."
Probably won't, but I am looking for some cool dragon shit.
I have some dragon, mostly wormling and very young dragon componentry. What particular kind are you looking for? What do you want it to do?
I mean, I want to look really cool in dragon clothes and armor.
In dragon. Oh. Okay, so
Yeah.
what I do have, one of my proficiencies that I'm very good at making. You know the underlying skin that the scales adhere to on a dragon?
Of course I do.
Okay, I don't think you do, but I will continue the conversation as if you do. Well, I take that skin and then I take wormling scales and I fasten those scales to the skin and I make it so it's almost like wearing leather armor, but it has the same effect as chainmail.
So you just do arts and crafts.
I just do art. No, it's not arts and crafts, you creepy little green man. No, this is dragon armor that wears like leather, but protects like chain.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll take that.
Well, your size is a bit on the small size. Give me a moment. And he goes back and he comes out with this neatly folded dragon scale armor. And he kind of sets it on a crate. Says, well, so, seeing as how you seem like a person that's going to try to dicker and haggle the price with me, and I'm going to guess that you're probably going to say things that aren't true because, he rolled a natural 20 on his insight. I'm going to assume you don't have enough money for this, but I'm going to humor you. That'll be 12,000 gold, please.
12,000. I have a chair that's really cool that I got.
I don't trade for furniture.
Okay. I have this really fancy belt. And it's the skull watch. Belt. It's the pirate skull watch belt I took from the guy when he was in the bathroom.
Glad to take a peek at the belt and see if it has any value.
It's a family heirloom. It's pretty amazing.
Of course, I'm sure it is. Can I see it, please?
Yeah.
You kind of hold up and he holds it and he goes like this. It's just a regular belt. There's nothing magical about it.
Okay. What else? Let's see. I have 12 clams.
12 clams.
Yeah.
Can I see them for a moment?
Yeah, you're going to have to reach in and grab them, though, because they're really fucking cold.
Reach in and grab them. What do you...
I'll roll out the hole.
Holy
I remember this,
shite. Yeah. Holy shite. Where did you have a portable hole?
Yeah.
Where did you find this?
It's a family heirloom.
I'll trade you the armor for your portable hole.
I can't. There's so much stuff in there. I can't carry
Oh,
it.
that's unfortunate. But I'll take a look at the. Why are they so cold? And you watch as he kind of like climbs down into the hole. He goes, "You have a lot of weird shit in here."
I want to roll it closed while he's in it.
Which you watch as Gelmir rolls it closed, and you can hear the voice of the dwarf yelling, like, "What the fuck?" And he like rolls it shut.
And I'm like, Wintrude.
And that's where we're gonna take our break, and we'll come back.
Fucking Gelmir. All right, I'll be back on that.
I gotta take my dog out, so I might be a minute or two late. But I'll.
That's fine. We'll take a break and we'll come back. Oh my god, that was genius. I love how when your camera's off, Chris, it's your cat.
It's my cat. The one that follows me everywhere.
Oh my. This is about to get interesting.
I'm actually surprised it took this long for us to attack a shopkeeper.
I just imagine Winter taking notes, and then when that happened, she presses too hard with her pencil and the lead breaks.
Yeah.
It's like,
what did he just do?
Relatively efficient as far as kidnapping methods go. Kind of reminds me of like Buffalo Bill and that white van.
oh my god.
Now, were there any witnesses?
Just Wintrude. We know how that goes sometimes.
Now, imagine we just have like a serial killer goblin in our party.
Serial kidnapper might be more accurate.
Well, I mean, he's gonna die in a couple minutes, right?
Well, no, it's not like a bag of holding. It's it basically is a portable hole that has access to a much larger pocket dimension. So, I mean, there's probably enough oxygen in there for maybe a couple hours.
I thought when we did it, we could only last a couple minutes. So
that's the bag of holding. I mean, anyone living and gets trapped in a bag of holding, they'd only have enough air for like 2 minutes. But for a portable hole, it's a much bigger like space.
Good for the dwarf.
This is troublesome.
So,
to say the least.
Since we're waiting on Gelmir to get back after what he just did, Tyr, you now have your blade back. The enchantment is concluded. Anything else you'd like to go perusing the markets for?
Sure. Let's take a look at the folk with the guns.
Okay. You head on over to the elven
or ranged
individual.
equipment.
Okay. You head on over to there. He looks at you. The kind of like half-elf individual kind of eyes you and sees kind of what you're wearing and yes. What can I do for you, sir?
Quick question: how does gunpowder interact with heat metal?
From your own knowledge, or are you asking this of the merchant?
I'm asking the DM.
Oh, you're asking me? I
Right.
mean, heat metal. I mean, it would only react to gunpowder if gunpowder was kept in a metal containment, because gunpowder is not necessarily metal itself. So, depending on the size of the metal container that you decide to fabricate or utilize and the amount of gunpowder inside of it, and then you were to cast the spell heat metal, it would damage as well as burn anything that was flammable. So basically, it would explode.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of some creative tactical combat uses of.
You're trying to come up with hand grenades that you cast heat metal on when you throw them. I've
Yeah.
been around the block. I've been around the block, my friend. I've been around the block.
Yeah, I just so the elf. Yeah, I'm just perusing, curious, looking, and I mean I have my hand crossbow, but looking to see if maybe I could be persuaded to leave with something a little bit more dangerous.
I do offer black powder weapons if you're so interested. Very expensive and difficult to get a hold of, but the pirates that I acquire these from guarantee their quality and their certainty of use and ability of use. I do have some black powder. I have fuses. I have shot. I have at least one black powder blunderbuss, as well as a black powder musket and 2 black powder pistols still left in my inventory.
Now for the blunderbuss, for me using it, that's like two-handed, right?
That'd be a 2-handed ranged weapon, and it would require a strength of at least 15 to wield it.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
It is
No.
a very robust weapon, to say the least.
You got anything smaller that can shoot shot? Like
I have pistols and I have one musket rifle available to you, stolen from the the Waterdeep guards themselves. So, never used, dropped once.
how much for the pistols?
Well, the pistols, I can let you have those for 250 gold apiece. I do have magical shot available if you choose to procure shot as well. And they do require fuse and powder componentry to operate effectively. So you'd need supplies of those as well.
How much for some fuse and gunpowder? And what is the gunpowder stored in? Bag, I'm assuming, a pouch.
It's in either a small wooden container or a small cloth-like linen container, depending on the amount that you wish to purchase. It comes by what we call the hogshead. So quarter head, half head, full hogshead. Just depends on how much you would like.
Or how much for a quarter head?
Quarter head, which would be a small linen pouch containing enough gunpowder for 100 shot. I could sell that to you for 50 gold.
And how much for 100 shot?
100 shot would be about 15 gold.
And
Then, of course, the fuses that you would need would be another 5 gold as well.
So we're talking 315 for quarter head, the pistol, and 100 shot.
With fuse, I will throw in fuse length with it as well.
All right, thank you. And I'm gonna leave. Appreciate your.
Oh, very well. If you're still interested, come back. Be glad to trade. Glad to
Will
sell.
do.
So, Gelmir, you roll up the hole. Hey, you daft bugger! And then the hole closes.
I'm gonna grab the dragon armor.
What? Whoa!
All right.
Whoa! Let him out! Let him out!
What?
You can't just lock the shopkeeper up in your portable hole and steal.
Winfred, we're in Scotland. Everyone down here is a criminal. I'm probably doing a good thing.
The relative, the moral relativism that you're expressing here, this is not. Just let him out of the hole. This isn't a thing of everybody's bad, so I'm going to be bad too.
Winfred, can you spend the next 10 to 15 minutes explaining moral relativism to me?
After you let the shopkeeper out of the portable hole.
I don't think I can let him out until I know what moral relativism is.
You basically, it's a logical fallacy to say that you're justified in stealing from the shopkeeper and imprisoning him because everyone down here is a criminal. Therefore, you can be criminal. That doesn't work that way. Life doesn't work that way.
In here. Let's go step outside and then.
No, we are not leaving with anything. You have to let him out.
I can only open it so many times a day, and I did it earlier.
No.
What's your passive perception?
21.
21? There are glyphs of warding inside the shop. And you get the feeling that if Gelmir tries to leave with that armor, it's going to trigger those glyphs.
So, okay, we are not going to get in a philosophical debate. There are glyphs all over this store. If you leave, you're going to blow up with that armor.
How far away am I from them?
They're in a total other end of the market, inside of a stone.
That is
I wish I was there.
Because Rai's up in the overflowing urn. Alexander's buying fight gear. You just, did some haggling for powder. These two, other end of the market, in this very rare end of the market with a very rare specialist.
I could just dispel magic.
she's
You're
Well,
learning,
Gelmir-
Wintrude. That's a good point. He's got to have a way to deactivate him. I'm gonna start looking around for ways to deactivate.
Yeah, give me
the-
investigation. Yeah.
Oh no, that's a 10.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking around. It's possible they're just anchored to the fact that he placed them there. So he probably just inactivates them through probably his own verbal componentry.
All right, Wintrude, you got 9 minutes to figure out how to turn these glyphs off.
For some reason, Gelmir looks at his empty wrist.
My tattoos. There's a circular one on my left wrist.
what does your wrist have to do with anything? I don't under.
It just really hurts from all this passion.
Gelmir?
Yeah.
Put the hole down, unwrap, just open it, let him out.
This guy's trying to charge me $1 million gold for something that's basically my birthday.
You are, again, trying to justify your criminal actions because you are offended by the price of something that you can't afford. That's not a valid argument for what you just did. You are probably going to be arrested. I don't know what's going to happen. Just give me the hole. Give me the hole. Give me the hole.
It's okay. I have the keys to the jail cells.
Ha 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 ha. Okay. Give me.
Because I do.
Give me the hole.
No.
What is that?
Has the time come, Wintrude? Are we doing this? Is it happening?
Is what happening?
Got my crossbow out. You got 8 minutes to decide, Wintrude.
Or what?
You gotta figure out these glyphs.
I'm not and figure out these what does that even mean? I'm gonna figure them out. I know what they do.
If we don't dispel them, then this guy died for nothing.
Here's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Now, let's see.
Yeah.
I'm trying to gesture wildly with this hand and distract as I'm saying things.
Okay.
And I don't know. Let me see let me just go over what I need to cast this again.
Okay.
It's verbal and semantic. I'm trying to cast my mage hand.
Okay. To do.
Well, so is Gelmir holding onto the portable hole? Is he holding on to it? Do you have it, Gelmir, like in your hand?
I mean, if I rolled it up, I'd say yeah, it's probably in mine because I wouldn't have had time to put it in my pocket.
Okay.
Right. It's definitely in his hand.
Okay, so I'm gonna look for something. Let me see. What's the heaviest? Okay, I'm gonna look for something that looks about 10 pounds.
Okay.
That my mage hand could wield, sneaking up behind him and whacking him on the head with the goal, knocking him out.
Give me a perception check as you look around the tables and things behind Gelmir.
25.
25. Rolled up into neat rolls stacked on a table are these like leather rolls of skin. You're not really sure what kind of skin, but they look like they might be about 10 pounds.
Kind of like heavy, just dense.
So give me what's your passive perception, Gelmir?
16.
16. So give me a sleight of hand, Wintrude, with your mage hand. You have advantage because it is your mage hand.
I rolled 2 19s.
Okay.
That's not going to get any better, unfortunately.
So your mage hand appears. It grabs one of the rolls of leather skin. And what do you want to hit Gelmir with it?
She's in her head. She's trying to think, like she's trying to play fourth dimensional chess of I gotta distract him. I gotta get something heavy with the mage hand, and I have to remember my medical knowledge of the best place to strike him where it's guaranteed to knock him out. Is what she's trying.
10 pounds of weight probably will not accomplish that. So if your mage hand is holding this rolled up, tightly bound thing of leather skin. You begin to realize that not only do you still have the challenge of smacking him appropriately, but you're not really sure 10 pounds of weight is going to be able to do it. And whether or not the roll weighs 10 pounds, you're not
is
entirely
another question.
sure. Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to use the mage hand to tap him on the shoulder, so he'll turn away and have just the mage hand follow around behind him.
Okay.
And then I'll try to snatch the hole from.
Okay. So with your passive perception, Gelmir, you're a little bit surprised as you feel something tap your shoulder, which kind of catches you off guard as a distraction. So Wintrude, now you give me a sleight of hand as you try to,
reacting to. I'm assuming it's one of the dwarf's companions that are just tapping my shoulders.
That's fair.
I want to turn into gaseous form immediately.
Oh shit!
All right. So that's
Because
fair.
it turns
But this
everything I have
except
into gas
the armor requires attunement. So what happens is, as you possess the armor but you're not attuned to it, it's not able to bind to you and therefore turn into gas. So Wintrude, as your hand taps him on the shoulder, he panics, he invokes his ring, and he's this gaseous cloud, and then there's this clamor of the armor falling to the ground.
God damn it!
How high are the ceilings in this room?
About 8 feet. They go up into like these little wooden rafters that hold up the ceiling.
Did I see any very tall structures nearby?
Like outside of the building?
Yeah.
No, they're all short and squat buildings around the marketplace. Nothing too tall.
Any cliffs nearby?
I mean, if you were to go all the way out towards the harbor, where the sheer cliff drops down into the about 80 to 100 feet down into the seashore of the cove.
Oh, God.
In gaseous form, it'd take you about maybe 15 minutes to get there.
When I see the armor drop,
yeah, you saw the armor drop on the ground.
I dash and scoop up the armor.
Okay.
Whatever obstacles I try to see if there's is it just like a standardly store where there's a back area or a counter with
there
a door that
looks
closes
to be
or something?
a door in the very back, which might just lead outside of the shop. It feels like his entire inventory is either in the front of the shop or in the space that you're occupied. It doesn't look like he lives here. It looks like he comes from someplace else and works here. He does have a small smithy section that he does assembly in, but he probably has a totally separate fabrication spot somewhere else that he makes these things.
I'm just looking for any door that I can shut off from. Arm, scooping it up. See, that's the thing is she's not quite. She's gonna scoop it up and then leap on top of the counter.
Okay,
and just say, "Stop it! Stop this!"
So what are you doing, Gelder? Because you can feel the draftness coming into the building. There's plenty of opportunities for you to get out through the cracks. And now that you don't have the armor, it's down below. You can see Wintrude's put it on the desk and she's standing on it and she's looking around with her fist up in the air, yelling for you to stop it.
All right, I will. I'll turn back into the goblin and I will lay the hole on the floor, but I'm not going to roll it out yet.
Okay.
And I'll be like, "You bested me today, gnome, but I won't forget this. This is my last. Just keep in mind, this armor might have saved our lives one day down at the depths. So if you die, this is on you. Also, if this dwarf tries to kill me when he gets out, you got to help me with that issue."
I'm a halfling.
Oh, you all look the same to me.
Just let him out. Just let him out.
I'll roll it out and be like, did you find the clams?
You daft bugger! Why did you close the top of the lid? I couldn't see anything. I was wandering around and you do have a nice dragon scale down here.
I'll roll this shit right back up. You better.
No. Would you be willing to trade the scale for the armor then?
Oh.
It'd be a good trade. I could make at least 2 more sets of armor just from this scale alone. This is from a very old dragon.
Yeah, I killed that dragon.
You keep saying things that I know aren't true. You even just tried to kill me by rolling me up in this fair bit of magic you have. Look, I'm impressed at what you have. I'm even reasonably impressed that I rolled a really shitty insight and was stupid enough to climb inside your hole. But I am even more impressed with this dragon scale, and I will gladly trade you.
How
Okay, I
long would it
said-
take you to make
okay,
armor
I-
out of that scale?
Oh, it would take 6 months. The fabrication is very complex.
Winthrop, are we leaving in 6 months or sooner?
Yeah, and he kind of comes climbing out of the hole,
Sir,
and you can see that his fingers are frostbitten. I don't want to do anything with those fucking clams. You could keep
Sir,
I
those.
don't know what to do
Sir,
with those.
let me, Gelmir, let me ask him that. Let me tell him about our time schedule and see about that, like, in quiet. There's, I don't want you to be too hurt if you hear an answer you don't like. Master Dwarf, could you come to me, please?
Other than calling me Master Dwarf, you can call me Gimlin.
Gimlin.
That's my fucking name.
Okay.
Does
so-
your
Don't
goblin
offend him, Winthrop.
So-
goblin friend often negotiate this way?
Wait, look. Here's how you conclude this deal. Shh, here's how you conclude it.
Okay.
Tell him that the armor has unsurpassed gem tracking qualities, and he will not care about anything else. Tell him that it'll take 3 days for the gem tracking qualities to kick in, or just whatever you want to. But if you talk about it helping him find gems, and all he has to do is give you the scale, this will all be wrapped up.
Give me a persuasion check. With
I know
advantage, because you're being honest.
I've played this card before, but I don't know
Yeah,
what
it's
else to
worked
do.
before.
I don't know. Shit. 9.
9? I rolled a 5 plus 2 for insight, so I got a 7 for insight. So we'll say he believes you for the most part. And he goes, "All right, Master Goblin. If you do the trade, I can teach you how to activate the gem finding ability of the armor.
Deal.
So as long as you that was very easy. You weren't kidding." And he kind of takes the shield size scale from you and sets it over, and he hands you the padded dragon armor, and he goes, "Now look, it requires attunement. Okay, it is +3 to your armor class. You gain advantage on all dex checks, and on top of that, once per day, per long rest, you can invoke for up to 1 minute. This has been infused with a little thing I call a bubble of invulnerability because of the scales. So you can invoke invulnerability for up to 60 seconds once per long rest."
Yeah, that's great, but what about the gem thing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it just as will. Once you're attuned to it, just think about a gem you want to find, and it'll immediately be available to you to find.
I mean, if you told me about this sooner, I wouldn't have tried to kill you. I mean, accidentally close the hole.
I don't know really how to respond to that other than the fact that I can make a lot more money off of that. You know what? Why don't the two of you scoot and get the fuck out of my shop? Just go.
Sucker.
As the two of you
thanks.
kind of like tumble out of the shop,
Evelyn.
you hear the door slam really hard behind you. The shade gets pulled, and you hear like a locking mechanism.
That was a good call, Winthrop. I wouldn't have known about the gem part of the armor if he died.
Yeah, here, hang on. I'm re-sharpening my pencil I broke from your action there. Yeah. Oh, you're going to be a gem finding just machine after all this. This is wow.
A book, and Alex is going to be so jealous.
He will. I'm just saying, I would brag about this immediately, and at least for about 10 minutes if possible, regardless of what he says. Because you know what I've heard, though? I've heard in certain elements of my research that if you have a property, a gem finding on something that's magical, the more you brag about it, it's like the magic hears you, like you're praising it. The magic absorbs that and strengthens
Checks
it.
out. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
So the more jealous he is, it feeds the magic. So
Good.
yeah, we're gonna see how that goes.
Mike's like, what the fuck?
Let's see how that goes.
This is why you don't let goblins into your party.
Let's go. Let's go find him.
I will say, all of this takes a span of a couple hours of haggling, going through the market. Rahi, we'll come back to you really quick as you start to do the second half of your alchemy, and you begin to do. So once again, I need a wisdom check, an intelligence check, and then a sleight of hand check. No, instead of sleight of hand, I need a medical check because you're examining your own blood. So you can use your proficiency for any one of those rolls.
So wisdom is 13.
Okay.
Just go with that. Intelligence is 14.
Okay. Better.
And for the medicine, let's see. I have proficiency in it, but in medicine checks, could I add it again because I haven't used the...
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So that would be...
Because your proficiency addition is because you're practicing alchemy. If you happen to be proficient in medicine, that's just a skill set that's being used to determine what you find out about your blood, the regenerative properties of your blood.
I believe that's 14.
Okay. About an hour goes by, and between your handling of the sample and the notes that you take and the reaction to some of the componentry, you now know for certain, because this is like your second or third time, I think, that you've done this. You now know for certain that whatever ails you, whatever has affected you, you feel that there's a property within your blood that if heated up to a certain temperature and extracted and then added as a component of regeneration, you can now use your blood as a component for potion of regeneration. And we'll say you successfully contain and collect 2 uses of it for the purposes of a componentry.
Gotcha.
So eventually, Alexander, Wintrude, Gelmir, and Tyr, you find each other in the midst of the market.
Was I able to find more potions? Or oil?
I would say you definitely can find potions of healing without any problem. And
Okay.
they'd be regular potions of healing for about 150 gold apiece.
For the regular ones? Any graders? Or a bunch of
None
regulars?
that you could find. That might require a more skilled alchemist that makes those. And most of what you find is just like common related potions of healing. It's
All
very
right, I'm going to buy
simple.
just one then.
Okay.
You said 150 gold?
Yep.
Just burning my money.
Well,
And
money's meant to be spent.
and what about oil of slipperiness? Can I grab more in case I do more than one battle?
Give me. Well, you want to buy another one from him? Just the oil?
Yeah, just the oil.
Okay.
Maybe
he
2
sells
more if
those-
possible.
He sells those for 100 gold a piece as individual components. So it'd be
I'll buy
200
2.
gold for 2 more.
Okay.
And once again, it's single application, and makes it so you cannot be grappled, and it lasts for up to a minute. I said, yeah, minute, right? Or 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
I'm wondering about the would I even want to go into this fight? But I think I could handle a little bit. It's just I don't do that much damage, but she does. Rahi does.
Well, she's a bit of a tavern brawler too. She's kind of built that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So if the both of us went in, could be possible. We could come out victorious. I don't do enough damage though. But maybe all my health. I have a lot of health, so I could just tank damage while she's just beating him up. That's what I'm thinking.
So she's the muscle, and then you got to be like the dex tripping, sort of, using people's weight and other stuff against them
keep
and all
in
that.
mind, the unarmed combat that we do is very narrative driven. So the more descriptive you are of what you're trying to do, the more you can use different skills to accomplish just different things.
So I find Rahi and I tell her, hey, so
she's back at the overflowing urn. She's been.
That's right.
She's not in the market.
Oh, okay. Well, so I don't find Rahi.
No. You find Wintrude, Gelmir, and Tyr kind of in the middle of the marketplace, kind of comparing notes and looking at each other's purchases. And
where's Rahi?
she is back at the overflowing urn.
Oh no, I'm
back in your
asking
guys'
the party.
room.
Oh, do they? I'm asking if they know.
Oh, they would know because she said that's what she was going to go do was work on her alchemy.
Making
We
potions.
headed back to our rooms.
Hey, Alex,
Yeah.
you see anything you like? Just you see anything you like? Yeah. Just,
Nope, not at all.
anything, just really cool stuff. This armor, it's made from dragons, and
Yeah.
I just in a couple of days I could think about a gym, and I'm gonna find it.
That's not how that works.
It's like that book you gave me, but better.
I don't believe you.
Just wait. I'm telling you, a couple of days, I'm gonna be swimming in gems. I'm gonna need a second portable hole. I'm gonna have so many gems.
Well, good news is, Gelmir, that you're gonna have to pay the blunt of everything because I just spent all my money.
Oh no, I spent all mine on this fine armor.
I don't believe you. You never.
I
spent
didn't.
mine.
I did not kill a dwarf.
He most certainly did not.
See, Wintrude knows. She was there.
This is rough. I'm gonna go find Rahi. I'm gonna find a sponsor.
You know what? You're right. She would probably like it too. We should go. We should go.
God damn.
I go to find Rahi.
Okay, so you're heading back to the overflowing urn. What are the rest of you doing?
The entire time we walk, I'm just telling Alex about how great the armor is.
Yeah, I got to go back and prep for the performing in the.
So you are heading.
In,
So you're gonna head to the other. You are heading over to the Worm's Gullet.
What time of day is it again? Sorry.
It's afternoonish at this point.
oh no, it should be at the overflowing urn, right where we stayed previously.
Right.
Is it? Oh yeah.
That's
You're
right,
right.
for-
Yeah,
for-
that's
for
right.
your-
The hobgoblin proprietor that you worked with negotiate that as a way for you to pay for your rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're heading back to the overflowing urn as well. Is everybody heading back at this point?
Yeah, and DM, real quick, I'm making that item, so just so I have it right. It's leather armor +3, advantage on dex checks, and once per day globe of invulnerability. Is that right?
Correct. That lasts up to a minute.
Up to a minute. Okay.
How much AC?
+3.
Jesus.
And it wears like leather armor.
I could totally use that.
Yeah,
Perfect for me.
except that it's designed for Gelmir's size because it's built. It's not magically. It doesn't magically shift to the size of the wearer. It's true magic is in the nature of how it was built. So the componentry, the fabrication, it's a natural built thing. The infusement of the main enchantment is that because it's made from dragon scales, which are magical beasts, he was able to get an enchantment on it that creates that globe of invulnerability for up to a minute.
Just can't die now.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, but he did what I was rolling really shitty. That dwarf should have killed your ass.
That I don't know how that we got lucky, dude. I don't know.
He saw the dragon scale while inside and looking at the clams. That got his full attention. If Wintrude if Gelmir had crossed that threshold with the ward, it could have been a totally different outcome. Totally different outcome.
So he starts putting us in front of challenge 15 creatures.
I'm not lying. I'm kind of tempted to go see now. God, let me look again at the rings. I could swear there's like a ring for charming. That would have been so handy, but that's probably.
Well, the marketplace is a big spot. I mean, big place as long as you have money.
Just keep in mind that with enchantments, with the enchantment school of magic, people do not appreciate being manipulated like that.
It's all about awareness.
I could use a ring of persuasion. That'd be great.
That's what I was thinking. I'm now thinking like in addition because I'm
too.
I'm just predicting more falling or things or you guys setting off traps that will make that happen to us.
Yeah, but if he makes like 3,000 gold for +1 persuasion, it's.
Well, and you get the feeling that chances are anything like that is probably being utilized by the vendors and the purveyors.
Right, they're not going to.
Right. I mean, this is a very densely packed group of people, hawking their wares and pitching things for the purposes of making coin. So, to a certain degree, there's a little bit of settled truth in Gelmir's perspective of being in Skullport, But then there's Wintrude's morality that kind of kicks in. The two kind of make sense and they kind of don't make sense, So there's this overriding feeling that these aren't necessarily good people. They are what they are. And if they get taken advantage of, then too bad for them. They get taken advantage of.
What was the name of the sponsor that was recommended? Was that the
Majestic Bones?
Yeah, the Majestic Bones is like a guild that are like sort of like a sponsorship, right?
Okay.
Organization.
Well, sounds like they're a guild house, probably.
Yeah, guild house. Yeah. You called it a fighting guild, yeah.
No, it's a guild that frequently sponsors fighters down in the House of Pain.
Yeah.
Okay. I try to find Rahi.
So if everyone's going back, so Tyr, you end up tracking down the Hobgoblin proprietor, who then guides you into the kind of like exclusive dining room or dining hall, where up to a dozen of these individuals are going to meet, while everyone else goes upstairs to kind of track down Rahi. Gelmir wants to show off to Rahi. Alexander seems to have some questions. Wintrude, what are you doing? Because the other two seem to want to go talk to Rahi, but I didn't ask you. What do you feel like doing?
I'm going to stay downstairs to have a drink and keep working on some of my notes.
Okay.
In the Alex and then Goblin Gelmir section.
So for you, Tyr, the Hobgoblin sees you come in, guides you over to the. He goes, well, I like people on time. You're a little bit early. Dinner's not for a few hours, but this is the space, the room. Now, here's the thing. You said that you have friends that are both managers and bodyguards for you, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So, the people coming today, I don't know if you ever heard of them. Some people may have. I don't know. They're part of a guild called Xanathar's Guild. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about them.
They like good food and drink and good entertainment. Evidently, they're down here to negotiate with a couple of other organizations, and they've asked me to, put together a nice meal. There's, I don't know how he's going to get in here, but he looks around. There's a slight chance that Xanathar himself might be here tonight. Not entirely sure how he's getting in. Not gonna be. I don't know how beholders move around. Not my place to say. But that's why I agreed to host it. I mean, it'd be pretty cool to see him. I heard he's scary as fuck, but it'd be a pretty interesting conversation to have.
And it should be a pretty penny if they're meeting in this.
Oh, yeah, I'm making some good coin off this, and you're going to make some good coin off this too, my friend.
Wonderful.
Guaranteed. Now, here's the thing. The last time I heard that they weren't very well entertained, they killed the band. Now, I'm not saying you're not a good entertainer, but they're a pretty rough crowd. So I'll give you a chance here. I mean, they're a rough crowd, but I think if you have your friends with you, I think they're less likely to be rough. But it's just some of his major officers and guild leaders and people that he look. I gotta be honest with you. I didn't think you were gonna come back. I was about to just go hit the streets and find another bard or someone, maybe go over the gullet and hire that creepy fucker that plays over there. But look, this is a shady group. If you want to give it a go, I'll understand. If you still want to try, I mean, I'll let you in on at least half of the offerings that we're gonna make on this.
Yeah, all money's good money, baby.
Oh,
Just make
all
it happen.
right. That sounds great. That sounds good. So let's say in about 3 hours they should start arriving. Meals will be served, and they're only looking for like a couple hours of just kind of entertainment music for them while they're negotiating and talking about their plans. That's all they're supposed to do. Whether or not Xanathar is going to be there, I'm not really sure. But maybe he will, maybe he won't. Don't know.
All right. I'll see you in a couple hours. I'll go meet up with my compatriots.
Okay.
And
eventually, Winter, you see Tyr come out of the room with the hobgoblin, and the door shuts, and you watch as Tyr heads towards the stairs to head back up towards where everybody else is gathered with Rahi.
Do I see Wintrude as on?
Yeah, your passive would be good enough. You could see her sitting at the bar drinking and working on her notes.
Do I see if Wintrude sees me?
I would say she would see you. Yeah.
Yeah, what's up?
Come on.
Oh, okay.
You set your silver down and immediately follow Tyr upstairs. And the five of you are gathered yet again inside your room at this point.
Which now stinks heavily of boiled
It smells
blood.
alchemically and ozone and copper and flame and cooking flesh, and it's got a nice smell in the room right now.
Crack a window.
So yeah, Rahi, in a couple of days, like I was saying, I'm just gonna be able to focus my mind, and then I'm gonna find gems.
So, I want to update you guys on this performance. The crew that I will be entertaining tonight is Xanathar's guild, with a possibility that Xanathar itself will be in attendance.
I can understand why the hobgoblin was not forthright with this information.
Yeah, I
No.
can't trust hobgoblins.
What did he give you a chance to back out?
He did. But I'm doing it. I'm letting y'all know if you would like to, stand by as bodyguards or do your own thing. But I'm going to try and use it as an opportunity to gather some information, maybe listen in on some of their conversations.
I'm in.
Could Gelmir, you might be better off just attuning to the armor. Why don't you just take it easy and have a few drinks, or just lie down?
Wintry, this armor was made. It's gonna attune to me. All right, you just wait.
Yeah. So, Tyr, like Xanathar, Gelmir. We already got this one who drops rubies on unsavory types at the drop of a hat, thinking that it's accomplishing something. No offense, Alex, but really, I'm
gonna say this: if you don't show, and I do this by myself.
Well, I'm not going to go into details, but I already had to to keep some of us from getting killed and busted or hanged.
So
today.
If you guys won't be joining me, I will say, do not come back here. Let's designate a meeting spot somewhere else. If I don't show up, assume that I'm dead. If I do,
much time between now and the show?
A couple hours. So the dinner's in a couple hours. The House of Pain opens up at midnight.
So are we able to do this and the House of Pain, or should I try to? Because otherwise, I'm just going to grab Rahi.
It's up to you.
Would I have time to attune to the armor and then help Tyr?
Yeah, it takes about an hour to attune to the armor.
All right, Tyr, we got this. All right, we won't die. I'm almost as invincible as Alex now.
All right, just
All right, here I'm not gonna say it, but I'll just be there. If there's reasons why, I think you know. I'll tell you more later.
Tyr, if you're gonna try to do anything unsavory, don't let Wintrude see it.
all right. Nothing unsavory. Just business as usual. Maybe
Right. Wink,
we
wink.
hear something significant, something valuable, or meet someone significant. We'll see how the night plays out. And over the course of this discussion, I'd like to use my inspiring leader to give everybody
Okay.
temporary hit points.
Okay. Go for it. Go ahead and roll.
Oh no, it's just 14.
Oh, that's right. 14. So everyone now has 14 temporary hit points. During this discussion, Gelmir, you begin to attune to the armor.
Alexander, I would like to actually help Tyr. It shouldn't be that difficult, just standing around looking intimidating. I assume that we will get a cut of whatever you're making, correct?
I'm thinking we first stop out at this guild that I found, that the Majestic Bones. We get them as a sponsor. I kind of need you there to kind of show what we're capable of, so that they believe that we're actually capable of doing this. And then we go stop by Tyr, and if we have to exit out early, we can exit out early. If it ends up going longer.
Also, I would like you to test this, and I hand him over the potion of sharpness. I think you would make far better use of it than I could.
Wow. Yeah. I don't want to test it right now because I don't want it to go to waste. But I guess I could put a drop.
Is it poison?
By test, I mean, I believe there is a fair chance that things will not go quietly tonight at Tyr's performance. So, I think that may give an opportunity.
All right.
I don't know if you've ever had the chance to read up on beholders, but especially Xanathar's power. He would be a with the and the mash and the shachar.
I have no intention to go against a beholder.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I've killed a bunch of them.
No, you haven't.
It's like 6 or 7.
Beholders.
Yeah.
All at once over your career.
No, don't be ridiculous. It was separate times.
Oh.
Probably like what? I don't know, like 48 eyes. There's so many eyes. So many.
Yes.
No.
It's gonna go great.
What could possibly go wrong? So Tyr is currently practicing and inspiring. Wintrude and Gelmir are discussing options. So Alex and Rai, you want to head over to try to locate the Majestic Bones and see if you can negotiate a sponsorship?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So I'll say that the Hobgoblin is able to give you directions. And you end up down near the cove area and like the harbor area of the lower bay at some point. And you're standing in front of a import-export kind of like warehouse. And there's a little kind of like a little shop office front on it. And there's just a simple placard above it that says Majestic Bones, import-export. You can see it's near a pier that's in the cove. You can see that they have a couple smallish ships that are in the cove as well. There are people coming and going in and out of the warehouse, and the door opens, and this kind of very stately looking, very well-dressed female comes out and goes, "Well, you two look surprisingly out of place for such a place as this place. What can I do for you? You look curious."
We are looking for a sponsor to participate in the House of Pain.
Which one of you are looking to fight?
Both of us.
Are you going to be on a drawn match or a random match?
Whatever's harder.
Oh, fascinating. I think a declared match then would be most interesting. This tall individual looks very capable, quite stout looking. No offense to you, however. Tiefling, what is your name?
Alexander.
It's a very pleasure to meet you. You seem a bit on the fragile side. No offense to your big burly friend here, but are you aware of the type of combat that takes place down there?
Yes.
Very well. Give me a moment. And she goes back inside to the little small office. She comes out carrying 2 rolled up scrolls and hands each one to you. You have your sponsorship. Shall we say this evening, the House of Pain?
Yes. How much money are we talking possibly gaining here?
Oh, that is up to you. As far as these documents are concerned, you are sponsored by the Majestic Bones, which means you've been verified as opponents, which allows your names to be entered into the rosters. There are 3 different ways that your names are drawn. One is random, one is matched, and one is declared. And depending on how your name is thrown into the ring determines the valuation of the bets. You're free to bet on yourself. You're free to bet against others. There are those in the House of Pain that are, they are facilitators of people who place bets. I believe they call them pit bosses down below. And they are the ones that take the bets and handle the wages and everything that can be made. However, you cannot get into the fight rings without a sponsor. It's their way of making sure that the people involved have direct connection with Skullport.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, you are but flesh, muscle, and bone, an opportunity of wealth. Usually there's multiple fights in a single evening, depending on how well you do.
Is there any tournaments?
There are certain special occasions, but I don't know of any coming up as far as I know.
All right. Well, thank you. We have to get back to our other friends. Appreciate it.
Good luck. And she just kind of smiles and turns and goes back into her office as the 2 of you head back towards the overflowing urn to meet up with everybody else.
This will be a most interesting night.
Rahi, as we're walking, I'm like, Rahi, I think we're gonna be fine. I'll try to aggro a lot of the attention while you beat him to a pulp. I got us these kits that should help us not only in the fights, but it could help you later on after the fights. And I show him the kits with was it bracers of defense or something like that? It was then the
belt of defense, wraps.
The wraps, and then the oil.
The wraps of advantage, and then the oil of slipperiness.
Right.
These, if these do what they say you do, they must have cost a pretty penny. How much did you pay for these?
I paid 300 gold.
That sounds like the effect will only be temporary. I suppose that will be good enough for tonight, but
I negotiated the price down.
I see.
But I also have this oil of slipperiness that came with the kit, and then I bought additional extra oils just in case there's like a multitude of fights and it's worn off. And so I think we stand to have a good chance. I don't do a lot of damage with my fist. Maybe honing this in the fights will get me to be better in unarmed situations. But I definitely feel like I can take a couple hits before I go down.
The point of combat is not to kill your opponent, but to make them unable to fight back. You don't need to necessarily do that much damage. You just need to do damage to the right things. I would recommend going for the eyes and for certain parts of the neck. A punch to the throat, it doesn't matter really if you don't have much power behind your swing. It will still solve your problems.
After saying that, my level of confidence is now elevated. I think we can pretty much handle anything that we're going to go against. I might even put every single penny I have left down on myself if possible. If somebody's willing to take the wager, I'll bet it.
Keep in mind, your opponents will also have access to the same soft spots on you.
It's true.
You're agile and adequately intelligent.
Adequately intelligent.
Well, thank you for that compliment.
Meanwhile, it's Tyr that's agreed to perform for Xanathar. Sure.
All right, so then we're back now.
By the way,
just like-
that would be Xanathar right there.
Yeah. The thing is, like with Wintred, if I played her like as overthinking and anally retentive as I sometimes think she'd be just stuck in that room, waiting for like just everybody's to die. I don't know. She's kind of like, okay, why gotta do something?
I mean, on the other side, there's a lot to be learned from listening in on Xanathar and his cronies. So if you could listen from a place where you could easily duck out when everything inevitably goes wrong, I think that would be valuable enough information to tempt even her.
Oh, I mean, trust me, I've made a whole section of my career out of ducking out when appropriate. That's, yeah.
Mm.
That's so true.
All right. What next?
So, anything you guys want to do in preparation of the evening's entertainment? A last minute detail, Tyr's the performer. Who's going to be management and who's going to be bodyguards? Who's doing what? Because you introduced yourselves to the Hobgoblin in a specific way, but Xanathar and his organization aren't going to necessarily know who you are. At least you hope not.
We're just gonna agree that I'm management.
Tyr, who do you want to manage you?
Let's just have Rahi and Alex standing by as bodyguards.
Right.
And Wintrude and Gelmir, I want you to be the management, skulking around in the background, see what information you can gather.
Manager, assistant manager. Got it.
Oh boy.
I also wasn't gonna be too concerned if I had to do this by myself, because I was like, maybe if there's a window, misty step invisibility, I'm in the night, I'm gone.
That's right. There's an issue.
Well, you would remember
we
that
survive.
it's a private room and there was no window.
No windows. I mean, I would have probably checked it out previously. Like I would.
I mean,
I would have scoped it out, seen stuff.
It's a set of like sliding doors that open into a kind of a large-esque room with like a big dining table, a small fireplace. So maybe leaving up the chimney is a possibility if you're able to change your form. There's a small little corner stage that the entertainment stands on. There's like a buffet table where the food gets presented, and there'll be at least one caretaker or one service person who will be like servicing the event the whole time.
Tyr, do you want to go do a mic check and we could plant weapons and traps in the room just in case things go south?
You guys should have your weapons on you, but let's, we can take a look, see the layout of the room, make any plan in case anything goes awry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys gather up all your kit. You pretty much feel like you have a solid plan. We'll say it's maybe a little over an hour away from the event. You go downstairs, you notice that the tavern, the Overflowing Urn, is getting crowded as afternoon is about to become late afternoon and eventually early evening. So you get the end of the day crowd are beginning to show up. The bar is busy. The tables are filling up. There's a couple interesting looking folk here, but nothing too nefarious at this point. And the five of you make your way over to the private dining quarters. And once inside there, you now realize, Tyr, that it's actually bigger than you remember, because one of the other connecting walls was a series of sliding panels that have now been opened, so that now the two dining rooms have been opened. The tables have been shifted into the center to encompass both rooms. It feels like maybe the group may have grown in size, but you could see where all the kind of like place settings and all the accoutrement and setup of a dinner event are kind of being placed out everywhere, and kind of, you could see that even one of the gnomish service folk, he's kind of like setting up silverware, and just kind of sees the five of you come and go, "Oh, you're the entertainment. You're a bit early, aren't you?"
Yes, just wanted to get a lay of the land before the performance. I know that the makeup of the room is going to determine the acoustic environment, and that'll change the type of music that I'm going to play.
Oh yes, you must be a professional then. Yeah, feel free. I'm just setting up. It's very exciting. Rumor has it that Xanathar himself may arrive tonight.
Yes, very interesting.
Never met a beholder before. I've heard he's fascinating, intelligent, but there's... Oh, you've met him?
No, I met other ones.
Oh, other beholders.
Yeah.
Oh, fascinating. And you're still alive. Anyways, back to my duties. And the gnome kind of goes back over to what he was working on.
First thing I want to do is eye out any possible escape routes. In case things. You said it's just the one door in, one door out. They had the sliding door, like the room adjoining, removed.
Right.
I look around at the walls. Is there anything that in an emergency I could potentially get through if I need to make an exit?
Give me investigation as you start to examine the entirety of the space.
All right.
Wintrude's whole plan
18.
is just relying on Gelmir doing something so disastrously stupid, everybody will be distracted by it, and she can just get it. That's in her entire plan.
That's Gelmir's plan too.
Great minds think alike.
Now,
where do I begin?
Now, for the servers and stuff, they're all using this main door. There's no area for service workers.
Give me an investigation as you scour the room as well. Rahi, what'd you get?
18.
18? As you and Tyr
16.
look around, see what Tyr gets.
16.
16. Between the two of you, there is another set of sliding doors that are closed. So once again, it's like these two large dining rooms have been combined to make kind of like a buffet hall, like a bigger kind of accommodation. Everything's been rearranged and organized around it, but there are sliding door entrances only being used from the ones that you came through. No windows, but there's a fireplace on either end of both rooms, small fireplaces, not exactly like hugely extravagant or big or anything like that. But you begin to realize that there's good security here. There's not really a lot of ways in and out. There's no secret doorways that you can see. And it feels like a relatively secure environment from the standpoint of somebody wanting to host an event here, for sure.
Okay. No chance of any loose bricks or anything in the walls?
The walls are made of stone and wood. The foundation of the wall is stone.
Mm-hmm.
And then the walls themselves are like a heavy lumber and a plaster mortar kind of sealing everything together. While decently crafted, I mean, given enough force or explosive force. You could blow out a wall if you wanted to try, but nothing that looks surprisingly weak or purposely weakened.
All right, well, let's just plan on having a good show and nothing going wrong.
And here, this is what we'll do, right? I'm going to turn into gaseous form. You walk through the smoke onto the stage, and that's how you start the show. It's a wow factor. I'm just saying.
All right.
So with that, you guys linger a bit. Gelmir, you're now attuned to your armor, so it's effective. You guys linger in the space a bit, all kind of playing out your role. The first one to show up, well, she's a very familiar looking drow. And when she walks in, she looks to see the five of you, and she immediately startles with recognition, as she was the one that took care of the bugbear, or the ogre. And she stops, and she leans out of the space, talks to some other people waiting outside, and she shuts the doors. She turns around at the five of you and goes, "What in the hell are the five of you doing down here? How, where, and why? How? You should be dead."
Magic.
We're tonight's entertainment. Or at least I am.
You're tonight's entertainment. You're aware of who might be here this evening, correct?
And now is he aware of me being here?
Well, I don't think that's important to share with him, because it might make me look the fool, now won't it?
Mm.
Well, but the Zentarium and the other gangs up above have been dealt with. Xanathar's in complete control of the upper four tiers. I think it's best we just keep all that nonsense quiet. If you perform well and get paid well, I see no reason to disrupt any of this.
All right.
I'm sure that would be beneficial to all of us.
I would definitely agree with that. I don't know when he's going to arrive, but the other peoples of interest are here. We are negotiating with folks about our presence and a permanent presence down here in Skullport, as we will be officially opening up shop down here. To get
Do you need any help with the negotiations?
No, little goblin. Best you keep your mouth shut and just focus on keeping your friend alive. Nice armor, by the way. Very pretty.
See, Alex? You see? She said it.
And you immediately feel this like magnetism towards her, as you realize she must be just hiding dozens of gems on her person.
I didn't mean to be rude. I don't remember your name, but I feel like you should get a VIP. Do you want to come closer to the stage?
No, that's quite okay. Sticky fingers, you may stay away from me. Thank you. And she like walks around you, purposely trying to stay away from you. Does anybody remember her name?
Oh, dude, give me a second. It
was like a color related to a color, I think.
I have to go past where we killed the Drow Ranger episode, because I had to say Drow a lot there.
If I didn't kill that guy, I wouldn't have this suit of armor, right?
That's very true.
Then there were
the boss's name was Gorgrim.
Yeah, I know Gorgrim. I remember that.
Drow leader, female. I'm gonna guarantee. Must be no.
I thought it was like
farther down. I only have her as the female Drow. I don't know if I. Oh, Cyan.
Cyan Rizarel. Yeah, Cyan Rizarel is her name. That's going way back.
Here,
Everything comes full circle. Cyan kind of goes over the door. She slides it back open. Okay, everybody in. Please be careful with that. And soon the room begins to fill up with individuals of all manner of unique appearances, tattoos, lineages. Some look more nefarious than the others. Some just look plain kind of like thugs. They just don't look like good people as they kind of filter into the room. They kind of eye the rest of you with a sense of just kind of casual apathy, like, oh, more service, more help, whatever. This feels like the kind of like official kind of body of individuals that run the entire criminal organization that is known as Xanathar's Guild. The last thing that you find interesting is they come in rolling a cart. And on the cart is a giant goldfish bowl with a goldfish in the bowl, swimming around and being very much cared for by the kind of human that's like in charge of this cart. And they roll this cart over to a much more roomy section of the room. And meanwhile, drinks are being served, like the first round of food is coming in. No sign of Xanathar at this point, just a lot of conversation and chit chat all around. Tyr, go ahead and give me a performance check.
All right. Previously, I would like to use Bardic Inspiration on myself for this. And then, do I get advantage with this magic loot I got? The Balmoras, or what is it?
Yes, you would have advantage on your performance check.
Yeah. All right. Okay, not great. I want to use my Bardic Inspiration. Not great. And I had one other inspiration rolled up, so I'm going to use that also.
Okay. Go for it. Can't wait to see what this is going to be.
19.
19? Okay. At first, due to the kind of like extravagance of the room and the personalities in the room, you kind of lose focus and you struggle to find a song that fits. You then fumble a bit, and now people are looking at you wondering who the fuck this guy is. You know, one of the heavier set portly guys is like, get off the stage, you fucking suck. And that kind of triggers you, and you're like, all right, focus here, focus. You can do this. And you start settling into a tune that you find yourself focused on and actually does quite well. So while Tyr is playing, performance-wise, what are the rest of you doing at this point? And Gelmir, the armor must be working because you just automatically in your mind, everybody here has gems. Like, you just feel this pull, like,
oh no, I just read your name.
It feels magical to you, even though, you know, it's not real, but you were convinced by Wintrude that it does do it, or you were convinced by the dwarf. So obviously it's working because these all look like rich and wealthy, you know, people in charge of things. So they're probably just laden with gems.
I think Gelmir has a brief moment of like a dog. If there's like 3 squirrels around, he doesn't know what to do. And I think at this moment he saw that goldfish bowl get rolled in, and it was very opulent looking. So I want to get closer to the goldfish bowl and investigate that.
Okay, as you get closer, give me an investigation roll.
19.
19. The guy in charge of it kind of stops you a little bit short while you're looking at it. I'm sorry, sir, but I would appreciate you not messing with the importance of this. This is a very important object and requires my constant attention. I would appreciate you just staying back, please.
It's okay. I'm with the band and I am starving.
No, 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 no. Absolutely not. You may not eat this goldfish under no circumstance.
Do you see my armor?
I'm aware that you're wearing clothes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, please step aside.
Immediately, like 3 or 4 of the other like people sitting near this one guy kind of stand up and they rest hands on weapons and they're staring down at you in utter confusion. And one of them goes, I believe our friend said that you cannot eat this goldfish.
Well, why?
Because it belongs to our patron,
Who's that?
the Xanathar.
That's Xanathar?
No, it belongs to... Who does this idiot goblin belong to? He is over here distracting us, and he's being stupid.
While this is going on, can I mix into my song command directed at Gelmir?
Oh, I love it. Yeah. It's a wisdom save, right?
Uh-oh.
Yes, it'll be a wisdom of 18.
That's an 8.
Okay, what are you mixing into the song?
To stay with Wintrude.
So, Gelmir, all of a sudden, as you listen to the melody of the song, your eyes gloss over as the intensity of the encounter was starting to build. You just suddenly have this urge to go hang out with Wintrude.
I'll leave and start heading to Wintrude, but as I walk away, I'm just like, it's rude not to bring it up for everyone. That's all I'm saying.
I don't understand what is going on here. This is not sushi. And like things kind of calm down as Tyr continues to play and the background. You then watch as somebody dressed in like very much like wizard attire gets up. She has very long braided black and gray hair. She's got neck tattoos and she's wearing these long silver appendages on her fingers, and she looks very well skilled as a wizard. And she wanders over to one of the walls and she begins to glyph write. And it takes her about 10 minutes to do this. And then there's like a hushed tone across the table as everyone realizes what's about to happen. And as she finishes the gate, she taps on it with her staff and goes, and then there's a return knock. And then you watch as all the Cyrillic lighting begins to light up and the arcane infusions and the arcane componentry that she expelled onto the wall. And you just watch as this shimmering gateway begins to appear. And then you hear this deep guttural laugh. Well, it's about fucking time. I'm starving and I don't like being away from my goldfish. And you watch as this massive beholder, this head, comes floating through the gateway with its many eye stalks, its like huge grinning mouth, its big single eye with like a heavy adornment of makeup around it. And then you notice that the eye stalks each have their own adornments of jewelry and makeup as well. And he's got this real stupid looking faux goatee, like just like he's been purposely made up. For all of you looking at Xanathar, it strikes you as very obvious. He's quite mad. He's overtly eccentric, and the way his main eye is kind of glazed over, you look at the nervous expressions from all of his staff and those that control his guild, like you could see on their face, like, fuck, I thought for sure that he wouldn't show. God damn, like they all have that the boss has shown up for the workday kind of look on their face, and they're not pleased. But the drow, she gets up and she flourishes over to him. Oh, Master Xanathar, it is excellent to see you. You look wonderful this evening. You look gorgeous and beautiful. How do you feel? Was your journey pleasurable? It was okay. It was okay. You know, the guys that brought me here, you know, I was really hungry and I was feeling a bit peckish. You're gonna have to find new guys to give me to get me back home. Yeah. Anyways, he coughs up. You watch as a partially digested head kind of tumbles to the ground. Oh, excuse me. Well, what do you think? Shall we get these negotiations started? And that's where we're going to finish today. As when we come back, you guys get to have an evening with Xanathar before you go to the fight pits.
Is that gonna be the title of the session?
I'll come up with something clever for it because that's going to be fun. I've played Xanathar 3 other times, and I absolutely love him as an NPC. As a villain NPC who's mad and believes that his goldfish is his familiar, he is just so much fun. So much fun to play with.
I wonder how many times that goldfish.
I love the fact that Tyr was like, fuck this shit. Gelmir, go hang out with Wintrude. You ain't fucking up my moment. All right, everyone. How are we looking for next week?
I'm in.
Everybody good? Alex, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Tyr, I know you travel a lot, so how you looking? Good
I'm
next
good.
week?
Yep.
All right. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. We appreciate y'all. We will be back here next week, same time. And we'll have to see how they do with Xanathar. So be kind, be safe, and don't forget to play a game. It's good for you. But you guys linger for a moment because I got a couple questions for you. Oh my God, that was so much fun. I love Xanathar. He's one of my favorites.